Hey fellow tennis nerds, I hope all is well. It's time for another mixed bag. The US Open is in full swing. Earlier today, just now actually, I talked to my buddy Dennis. We do this weekly podcast, which you can check out. It's called the Tennis Nerd Podcast. Dennis joins me once a week to discuss predictions, what's happening in the tennis world, tournaments on the WTA, ATP, and so on. Talking about the podcast, I did an episode with Henrik recently where we go through the Ultra because he has played the new Wilson Ultra 100 version 4. So there are 4 new Ultra rackets. The 100 is kind of the standard edition, but there's also 100 Light and 100 Ultra Light. And 108, which is a bit easier to use, more power, obviously. But the Mid Plus version, the standard version, the version that is most interesting to you guys is the 100. And the way Henrik described it got me really interested. It's not a typical frame that I gravitate towards, but I do like trying them, and I do appreciate the easy power and spin and forgiveness you get from these rackets. And the previous Ultra version 3 was not really a good racket in my opinion. It had no dampening, it was quite stiff, nothing really exciting going on in terms of feel, just an average power racket. And this one, according to Henrik, is much improved, has a thinner beam, more maneuverable through the air, good power still, doesn't feel as stiff, that has a nice plush feel in the string bed. Just a good racket overall, and one of Henrik's top rackets that he has tested this year. And as you might know, he tests a lot of rackets. I think in the summer he tested like 15 rackets, and he reviews them for Tennis Nerd and the Swedish Tennis Magazine. So he's really knowledgeable in tennis rackets, and he likes 100 square inch rackets. So we also touched, for example, the new Blade version 8 100, which has a thinner beam, more of a control-oriented frame for attacking players, while the Ultra gives you a lots for free power, easy to use, relatively easy to swing despite a swing weight plus of over 320. So we get into that and things about swing weight and so on, so please check out our podcast about the new Ultra and the Blade and other things. In terms of the US Open, we've seen the Ultra design on rackets from Ajla Tomljanovic, who's doing really well. She beat Serena and she's still in the tournament. Victoria Azarenka also doing really well, and Maria Sakkari, who is out at the moment. The racket looks amazing. Obviously, these are paint jobs, cosmetic redesigns of their already existing frames. Tomljanovic, as I said before, uses some kind of N Tour or H Tour, which is also something that Azarenka likes. So what you see in cosmetic is not obviously always what the pros use, or quite honestly, rarely what the pros use. But the frame in its design looks amazing. It's one of the best designs I've seen. I think the blue looks even better than the red Clash or the green Blade. So I'm very keen to try it and see it up close and in person. What struck me about the US Open is that we haven't seen any night shift designs. Have you seen the night shift sessions in the hands of any players? I know that there are not any real Clash players, and the Blades that I've seen is mostly the regular design. I haven't seen any night session Blades. I don't know if Dimitrov's Pro Staff, the one he's using, which is based on the RF97, but it's actually 1817 string pattern from his old Pro Staff 97S, the spin effect rackets, if you remember those. That's maybe in this night session paint. I can't really tell from the picture. It's a quite subtle design according to players who've seen it up close, but if you've seen any night session rackets during the US Open, let me know. Otherwise, I don't know 100% what the idea was if the pro players don't endorse it, because I don't think the sales would be that good. We have to say goodbye and good luck to Serena Williams. She played her last match against Tomljanovic, as I mentioned. She put in a good tournament, I would say. Didn't expect much, but she managed to win 2 matches. Gave a strong fight to Tomljanovic, but in the end, Ajla was too strong and won 6-1 in the final set. But Serena got a really nice farewell, and I think she can be happy about the way she performed and look forward to the future. So good luck to whatever she endeavors. Before we go into more pro player updates, I want to say thanks to the sponsor Fuzzy Yellow Balls and their Fuzzy Yellow Balls app, which is a great app. They have this module called Crush It, which helps players understand the kinetic chain and unlock some power that is there, but most of us are not using the kinetic chain properly. And they do have the serve module for free, And using the link below, you can check out the twist rotation drill, which is a great drill to get more pace on your serve, and you can really utilize this tip in improving your tennis results. So check out the Crush It app, use the link in the description, and again, big thanks to Fuzzy Yellow Balls. In terms of pro play rackets, I haven't seen many updates. Popperin, he lost in the end with his new Dunlop. Not a shock, but he played pretty well. It doesn't seem to be a racket issue at all. I want to say thanks to my patron Robert Ye for telling me about Sebastian Korda's racket. I have really not seen this at all. He's playing with an 18-19 string pattern now, which is surprising. I thought he was an 18-20 guy with his blade 98, but like Novak, like Medvedev, he's now with an 18-19 string pattern. That seems to become a more popular string pattern on the tour, and the idea with removing a cross string is to get a bit more of a spin potential, a bit more lift on your shots without really reducing too much the control of the racket. Because if you go to 16-19, you're going to have a bit more inconsistency in the string bed. So I find this decision to go to 18-19 to be really interesting. I don't know if they did any other updates to his frame in terms of weight, balance, and swing weight. If you have any information, let me know in the comments. But I found this string pattern change very interesting, and it's quite rare that they change the string pattern. Some people have asked me why Rafa is still sporting the Mallorca-inspired design of his Pure Aero and not the new Pure Aero 2023, which you see in the hands of other players like Leila Fernandez, for example, or Carlos Alcaraz. The reason is that he will have his own signature model. I don't know if it's going to be Mallorca based in the design or if it's going to be a kind of signature model like that Wilson did with Roger. I guess it will be out next year, and time will tell. If you have any inside information that you're keen to share, please do so. Use the contact us form on tennisnerd.net or comment below on YouTube. But interesting to see what racket and specs they come up with for Rafa. In terms of new rackets, there are not that many that I haven't mentioned, but worth pointing out that Vulkel have released an Evo version of the C10 Pro, and it's a great player frame, quite heavy, and it's been around for 25 years. So now they have a new cosmetic that's kind of an anniversary cosmetic for the C10 Pro, but the specs remain the same. But they also have this C10 Evo, which has a lower swing weight, lower static weight, but otherwise quite a very comfortable, flexible, nice feel to the frame from what I've heard and from what you can see on the spec sheet. How does it play? I don't know, so I have to get my hands on one and test it, but very nice to see that they try to use this very popular mold, change the specs a bit, maybe with some room for customization for intermediate to advanced players, and we'll see how it plays. But yeah, that's something to look out for. They also have an Evo version of the V1 Classic, which is another bestseller from Vulkel. So those are news in the racket category. Dennis and we mentioned some outfits from the US Open. I do have some question marks around Adidas, Stefanos Tsitsipas design. That was a bit strange to me. There have been some weird design decisions from Adidas this year. You remember the shorts that Verdasco and a few other players wore that looked like they've taken a shit in them, and it wasn't a very flattering design. So I don't know what's going on there. They're trying everything. Where's the brand heritage? What are they trying to accomplish? I don't know. It's a little bit all over the place, in my opinion. Nike, they have some decent sets. Rafa looks pretty good, in my opinion. I don't know what you think. Please let me know in the comments. But nothing stand out like in the good old days when people were rushing to buy Rafa or Roger sets and kits and to really look like them on the tennis court. That was a different time. Now I think there are a lot more other brands, and we've seen some New Balance players. For example, Maxime Cressy is now a New Balance guy. Tommy Paul, not the best outfits, not horrendous. Coco Gauff's outfit from New Balance stands out a bit. She looks a bit like a NASCAR driver, inspired by some racing, I think. It's a mishmash of styles and fashion ideas out on the tennis courts of the US Open. What's your favorite outfit? And give me some ones you wouldn't wear as well. That's all for this mixed bag. I hope you found it entertaining. If you want to support the work I do, check out the links in the description. My affiliates, if you purchase anything from them using my links, I get a small commission, no extra cost to you. And if you want to get more content like this, please join my Patreon, patreon.com/tennisnerd. Have a nice day now, and don't forget to play some tennis.